act accordingly is not just a cute little saying. Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. Or welcome back if you are already part of the community. If you're not, go ahead and subscribe and join in on all the community and leave a comment down below. So in today's video, we're going to be talking all about boundaries and why they are so important in your life. I cannot stress enough. If you want to live a peaceful, happy, fulfilled, stress-free, drama-free life, you need to instill some boundaries. Literally, if you let people walk all over you or just mistreat you or treat you any kind of way or how they feel like you deserve to be treated, which is not equivalent to how you actually deserve to be treated, you are going to be miserable because people are going to continually devalue you, disrespect you, and not treat you in the way that you should be treated. The absolute best way to combat this is to make sure that you are implementing and instilling boundaries in your life and sticking to them. I feel like literally sticking to those boundaries is going to be the hardest part for most people, but I'm gonna walk you through a very simple guide in this video and really highlight the importance of why you need to have boundaries, why you need to stick to them, and how that's gonna benefit your life. And sticking to those boundaries is so important and such a key aspect, because if people feel like, oh, like she's just saying that, or she's not really gonna stick to it, or they're just kind of going through something right now, it's a phase, they're not really serious, they're gonna continue to play in your face. And I don't know about you, but I can't have people playing in my face. So boundaries are here, they are clear, and they're not going anywhere, and other people in your life have to understand that. If there's only one thing that you take away from this video today, I want you to remember, boundaries are essential for your mental and your emotional well-being. I'm gonna say that one more time. Boundaries are essential for your mental and your emotional well-being. So don't let it just be something that you dismiss or you disregard or you kind of put into place and then you let them slip. Remember, it is essential. All right, so let's rewind and first off, get started with exactly what boundaries are. Boundaries literally define the limits of what's acceptable and what's not acceptable in your relationships, your personal life, your career, and everything in between. And I feel like overall, many of us struggle with setting boundaries because we have this fear of rejection. We think, oh, if I put this boundary in place, they're not gonna like me, or they're gonna think that I'm difficult, or they're gonna feel like I have so many requirements that are just unreasonable. But honestly, at the end of the day, do you want people around you who are going to downgrade your importance or make you feel like you don't have the right to have boundaries? Probably not. So if someone's not gonna like you, that's not someone you need to have in your life in the first place. Because at the end of the day, setting boundaries, sticking to those boundaries, and communicating them with others is truly a form of self-care and a form of self-love, because you have to make sure that you're okay before making sure that everyone else is okay. So I know you're thinking, okay, that's great, that's fantastic, it's essential, it's important, I've got to set them, I've got to stick to them, but how am I supposed to do all of that? Don't worry, I've got you covered in this video. That's what we're going to be focusing on at Boundaries 101. And like all of my other videos, I like to really break things down into a simple process. So this Boundaries 101 session is really going to be a very simple 3-step process to creating those boundaries in your life and seeing the benefits from setting them up and keeping them. All right, first things first, you have to identify your needs and you have to identify your values. What is truly important to you? What makes you feel respected? What makes you feel loved? What makes you feel valued? What makes you feel appreciated? Really sit down to think through those things for yourself and make sure that you write it down somewhere, because I do feel like these things can change and evolve over time, but also if they are not very clear and present in your mind or written down, it's very easy to forget about them and to let that slip away from your life. Now, once you have a clear understanding of what your needs and your values are, you have to communicate them clearly. You can't assume that people are just gonna know, oh, this is a boundary that she's put in place. How are they supposed to know that if you do not communicate it? Now, I'm not saying walk around saying like, oh, this is my boundary, which honestly you could, and honestly, I have. But what I'm saying is the way that you communicate, the clarity that you have in your conversations makes it very easy for people to understand where you stand, what your viewpoint is, what your opinion is, and that you're not going to be easily swayed or changed just because they want you to. So there's a way to communicate respectfully while also communicating very assertively. Again, you cannot let people play in your face. And so if you're like, oh, well, I'm not really comfortable with that, or could you maybe not do that next time? No. Words like not really or maybe kind of downgrade or make it seem less important to you if you are using those in communicating your boundaries. You have to be assertive, you have to be clear, you have to say, I am not okay with that, don't do it again. And then also you can throw a consequence in there. Like, look, I'm not gonna continue to come have lunch with you if all you're gonna do is be negative and this is not gonna be an enjoyable experience. I wanna make that very clear because I want to enjoy the time that we spend together, but this is an important boundary that I have set, if you wanna use the word boundary. Or you can say, but this is important to me because I value spending quality time with you, where we're focused on positivity, we're supporting each other, we're lifting each other up, and we're not wrapped up in any negativity or mess. It doesn't have to be long, it doesn't have to be elaborate, it just has to be clear. The second step is all about remembering that you have the right to protect yourself through setting these boundaries, and you have the right to really focus on your own personal well-being and put that above the needs of others. Protecting your peace has to be the priority. Literally feeling stressed, overwhelmed, and out of alignment contributes to so many different other mental and physical ailments that we face because we're so focused on making other people happy or pleasing others or trying to make sure that everyone else feels comfortable that we're not focused on ourselves. So you may have to hype yourself up for these conversations, but remember that these conversations are necessary if you want to protect your own peace and your own well-being. So whether that means you need to practice with a trusted friend, you need to practice in the mirror, you need to make a video and watch yourself back, whatever that is, make sure that you get into the habit of setting clear boundaries, prepare in advance for these conversations, and also prepare for like what the other person could potentially say. If they're trying to gaslight you or make you think that you're being ridiculous or that you're overacting, like think of all of those things ahead of time. Go ahead and have your responses prepared. And honestly, remember, like if the conversation is not going well, if it again is not aligned with protecting your peace, you have the right to end that conversation and to remove yourself from that situation. You do not have to attend every argument, and you do not have to put yourself in circumstances that do not make you feel comfortable or align with what you want for your life and the boundaries that you've set up for yourself. And the third step is to make sure that you are prepared to enforce these boundaries. People will try it, especially family members or friends that you've known for a long time, or coworkers who just have no sense of social awareness. They will try you, so you have to be prepared. This may mean saying no to certain requests or invitations or environments that don't make you feel uplifted and valued. Or this also may mean that you're setting boundaries with people and you're distancing yourself from people who you may have been really close to in the past, but you let so much slide. It's kind of like this feeling that you get. I want you to think about if you've interacted with someone multiple times and you don't feel great about yourself or about the interaction after the fact. You went to lunch with a friend, you went to a party, you went out, you went on a trip, and you're just like, look, I'm not vibing with this person. We are not on the same page. Our goals, our aspirations, how we interact, our positivity, our optimism in life, it's not aligned, like it just feels off. Then you have to set a boundary in order to remove yourself from that close relationship with that person. It doesn't mean that you don't love them. It doesn't mean you don't care about them. It doesn't mean that you feel like you're better or that you don't value what they want in life. But it means that you are choosing yourself. You're giving yourself permission to show that self-love, that self-care, that self-value, even if that results in a relationship change with someone else. If someone is consistently disregarding your boundaries, they do not care about you. And I know sometimes that can be hard to hear, but you have to find your tribe. You have to find people who believe in you and who support you and who respect your boundaries, and your life is going to be so much more beautiful and colorful when you don't have that negativity continually drawing energy from you. So I know overall, like the entire idea of setting boundaries can be very uncomfortable for a lot of people for a ton of different reasons, but they are so important. And I always say set them early, especially in relation to your career. I would say 2-3 jobs ago, listen, y'all know I will leave a job, but a couple of jobs ago, I really enjoyed the position that I had, but there was someone who worked with me who did not understand boundaries. And in the beginning, I went in very like, oh, I'm gonna be nice, I'm gonna feel everyone out, it's all gonna be fine. It was not fine, and it was so much more work to then have to communicate my boundaries, to make sure I stuck to them, to make sure that person understood, and there was so much additional stress and unnecessary mess when I could have just been very clear from the beginning. And that's, again, not being rude. Going into my current job, I went in very clear on what my boundaries were, and I have great relationships with the people who I work with because they understand my boundaries, they respect my boundaries, and they allow me to exist in the space in the way that I need to, and I do the same for them. So just remember, it's a skill that gets easier with practice. None of us are perfect at setting up boundaries. None of us are perfect at making sure that we're always maintaining those boundaries, but you deserve to have boundaries in your life. And again, the blessings and the benefits are so much larger than everything else that you have to deal with trying to make other people happy. So please remember, you deserve to be treated with genuine love, respect, and kindness in all situations in your life. And if you forget that, please come out to this video for a little pep talk or comment below a situation that you've been dealing with that you may need some advice on. I'm going to be in the comment section chit-chatting with y'all and continuing to offer as much assistance as I can. I'm not perfect in this area either, but I've learned a lot from so many different experiences. And of course, as a life coach, I've helped a lot of clients navigate setting up boundaries and maintaining those boundaries in their lives as well. So I'm here to help you too. And if for some reason you just have not found that community of people who are rooting for you, remember, I am here to support you, and I'm here to remind you that you are valued and you deserve to set up certain boundaries that are going to protect your peace and help you to live your best life and be as happy as you can possibly be. All right, that wraps us up for today. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope it was inspiring for you to really choose yourself and to choose protecting your peace. Don't forget to like, comment, and share with someone else who you think could find value in this video. And definitely subscribe, stick around, and see what else we have on the channel. Thanks for watching. Bye. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and follow me on Instagram at Affirmations with Amber.